Good morning, or is it afternoon? I have no idea. I'm sure camera lady will probably tell me later on. We didn't get much filming done yesterday because we had to shoot out and get a few items. I'll probably do a shopping haul and show you what we bought later on. But the reason I've started it slightly earlier, we've got no mix made up, nothing like that, is I wanted to talk you through what I do each morning. Now, when I did the floor tiles, I said that I cut them, lay two rows and cut them as I go. That's fine when you know that you're doing half tiles either end of the, starting with half tiles. The same with the majority of these tiles on the wall, you can get away with doing that. However, when you get to the more tricky parts, like here, underneath this windowsill, along here, on top of the stand, and the same with the back, I like to get the tiles cut, measured and cut, and ready for me so that I can just put the adhesive on the wall and put them on the wall and get them out of the way. Because actually putting them on the wall is the easy part. The harder part is making sure that the tiles are ready for you and the cuts are done. And what I do is when I've cut them, I place them down here in the order that I'm going to lay them. So I'm going to be starting at this end here and working my way across to this end. So I place them in order. So from the top, I know that half tile is going here. This tile is going around the window, like so, and so on and so forth. So I get everything into place and ready first. What I've also done on the wall here, and I don't know if the camera's going to pick it up very well, but I've put a mark where the beginning and end of the tile is. Now, to then transfer that to my tiles, and remember, I don't know if this is right or wrong, but it's the way I've been doing it. I turn it over, the tile, and I visually think to myself, well, how is this tile going to be when I put it in? Okay, now we want the manufactured edge against the manufactured edge. The cut edge won't actually be seen here. So I think to myself, okay, it's going to be facing this way up. So on the back, I put a B in the centre. That tells me that when I'm doing the measurements and marking out that that is the bottom of the tile, which will sit here. Okay, the next thing I do is I take my multi-square, and funnily enough, the edge of this multi-square is roughly the width of a spacer. Okay, so what I do is I place my multi-square on the edge, sorry, where my mark is, on the edge. Okay, I loosen it off and I pull it up just so that I know where the mark is. Okay, I turn my tile around, so I've now got the bottom facing me. I place the edge of my multi-square on the edge of the tile and I just put a mark. Okay, then I come across to the next mark, which is just here. Okay, and I do the same thing. Now I know, because there might be just that small discrepancy, not much, but a tiny bit of discrepancy between the edge of the tile and the top. Might not be perfectly level because nothing in this house seems to be either square or level. And that's just the way it is with older houses. and I place another mark on the edge of my tile. And I know you've probably seen me do this, and I'm not trying to, you know, teach your granny to suck eggs, but I'm just showing you how I do it. Now, oops. Okay. So yeah, I'm going to get Zoe to just come in so that she can come over the top. A second. Okay, can you see? And then I just line my spirit level up with either end of the mark, run my pencil across. That tile now is ready for cutting. So let's just move across now to the saw. And I know I've probably already put videos up of me cutting. Right. On the previous video, you saw me cutting downstairs on what I call my step up. I actually started to get backache, so I'm quite lucky here that we don't have a banister here and the top of the stairs isn't quite finished yet. But it will be very shortly, and again that will be a full series there. Sorry, excuse me. From skimming the walls to putting the banisters up, putting the wainscoting around, so on and so forth. We'll run through the whole of that. This morning I made sure that there was enough water in this end, and actually I seem to have run a little low, so I'm just going to top it up a little. The trick I found with this is not to put too much water in, because it actually overflows somehow and ends up on your floor down here. But just put enough in that the water goes around the blade. Okay, so we're now going to cut this tile ready to be fit. Now I've done that, I'm going to take it back and just double check that what I've done is going to work, and see whether or not I need to come back and make any adjustments. Okay. Now then, it was for this tile here, or this space here. I'm just going to place it on. And how I'm checking for the adjustments. Oops, nearly dropped it. Is I use the spacers. Can I get the spacer required in both ends? Now it's a little tight up this end, that's not a problem. So what I'm going to do is take it back to the saw, and I see why. And I'm going to just trim it down. For some reason, the tile seemed to wander on the saw. So I'm going to bring it back, take it back and just trim it down to that line there. This is the adhesive that we're using at the moment.
From Top Tiles.
From Top Tiles. This particular one is the Rapid set, and I wouldn't actually recommend it. But for mixing, I've got 3 litres of water in here because I don't want to, because of the weather today, I don't want to mix too much and have it go off in the bucket. So you put the water in first, and then we can add the powder then to it. And what I tend to do is add 5 or 6 to start with.
Not get it all over the floor.
Try not to waste it.
Cold.
Then I'm using a drill and paddle, the same as I did when I did the levelling compound. Start it off slow because we don't want water going there. And then I'll add a bit more. And actually I think this bag is at a point now where... Yeah. So I add a little bit more. Need a bit more.
I don't love making so much up. You have to put too much water in.
Yeah, not too much, not too to worry. It'll all be used. Right, so I've got it to a good consistency. You need to make sure that it's smooth, and when you put your finger through, not recommended, but you still leave your a track there, and it still holds. Okay, so we're off now up to do the finish putting the tiles on the wall. Right, back upstairs, same mix that we used downstairs.
No downstairs.
Just giving it a good final stir up here, and now we're going to get on with the tiling. Right, yeah, I'm going to show you a slightly different way in a second of doing this. I don't think it's recommended, but sometimes you have to find ways around doing things. Give me a second and I will show you. I'm trying not to put anything dirty up on the windowsill. Okay. Right. Because I can't get my trowels in along here or around that window, and I don't really want to end up with too much adhesive getting on always the way people who you know, haven't got a clue really are quite happy to
shut up, criticise.
Yes. And I'm buttering the back of the tile.
Like what you've got to do on our ensuite tiles with the floor. Do the floor and butter the back of the tile.
Yep.
Because they're a stone tile.
Yep. And stilettos are not good on stone. Okay.
You might want to wipe that corner.
See what I mean about the criticism, guys? Does your wife, your boyfriend or girlfriend, whichever way you swing, criticise you whilst you're doing the work for them? Leave a comment below. Okay, so there we go. I'm going to do the same along here.
Like you've got another one in the top piece or? No, no.
Not for a minute now.
Uh-oh.
This wall is out.
Okay.
What I'll do, actually thinking about it, I'm going to put a tad more. There are certain times, I mean, I'm a bit OCD when I come to doing this sort of thing, but certain things really do get on, you know, get to me, and trying to find those fixes is not easy. I don't think it's OCD, I think it's perfectionism. I'm looking for perfection, and sometimes I just haven't got the required skills it takes to reach that perfection. But I think that's where I spend more time on the task. Like, for example, did I really need to spend a week doing this bathroom? Tiling it? Probably not. Will I do the same when I go to the other bathroom? Definitely. Do I take longer when I'm doing customers' properties? Yeah, I do. The reason for that is that I treat every customer's property as if it's my own, and try and give them a job I would expect, or a quality I would expect from anybody who is coming in to my home to do any work, and vice versa. That, to be honest, is one of the reasons why I've been doing a lot of the work on this house myself. Because I'm not dissing every tradesman, because some of them do a damn good job, no doubt about that. But others are there to do, do one thing and one thing only, and that's make a profit. And when you're striving for perfection, or to have a job that is nigh on perfect, it just won't happen. They don't tie one in another. Profit and perfection don't come together. But whoever gets this property, when we're finished and ready to move on, because as I said, I don't know if I did, but our goal is to eventually find and move to a property with land. And in order to do that, we've got to
rebuild the ladder.
Work our way up the ladder. Now, neither of us are rich by any means of the imagination. We work hard. Unfortunately, we don't play very much. I have a few hobbies, but I haven't done any of those since starting this project. One of the things we will be doing, and it will be when we get downstairs, is making a multifunctional living room or living space. You will have, or we will have, one or other, sorry, I'm sweating like a donkey.
Elephant.
A donkey, a pig, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, it'll be a multifunctional living room. Both Zoe and I love watching movies.
And the girls.
Oh, and the girls. Yeah, let's not talk about girls' movies. So we're back. Where were we?
Just doing the tiles under the window ledge.
Oh yeah, we were talking about the living room, what we're going to do down there.
Yeah.
You see, I haven't quite made my mind up yet on... Yeah, no, scratch that, yes I have. Anyway, we're going to make it multifunctional, and as I said, myself and the girls, look at that. Bloody Dora Explorer, and yeah, I tend to make myself scarce when that's going on. But I'm going to be making it into like a home theatre that can be put away when we no longer require it, or we don't require it for that particular day, or we've got guests, As it happens sometimes, we do have guests. Not very often, or certainly not since we've been doing this house, or doing the house, should I say. But But that's purely because, well, we don't want guests, do we? Until we've finished. Anyway, so we're going to make that into a home cinema. And I'll walk you through every part of that, from the design to, from the design work to installing and choosing equipment, etc. So we're now back to putting the adhesive on the walls because I'm able to get the trowel in. I prefer doing it that way. Some prefer to do it directly onto the tile. But I will be doing the garden as well, but somebody said that I should try and keep, things slightly separate. So doing the houses, the renovations, etc. on one channel and the garden on the other. So that's what we're going to be doing, but that won't be until the beginning of next year. And we'll be starting at the bottom of the garden. It's not a huge garden, is it? But it's big enough for us. And we won't be just putting turf down and calling it a day. We are going to landscape it, put decking out there, patio, so on and so forth. Now I'm not too sure, what sort of things actually put value onto a property. For example, I've always been told that putting an ensuite onto a bedroom would add 3 or 4% to the property. Well, that's not. And then I've also been told that this isn't true. Unless you're doing every bedroom ensuite, it makes no effect to the value. Perhaps you could, somebody who's a bit more know-how than me on these matters could leave a comment and let us know, which of these is true. I mean, is it a case that during the 90s we were all encouraged, to put en-suites on, and now the property market is flooded with properties that have got en-suites, so it's seen as a normal thing. But I can guarantee you, in this area where we are, other than the new builds, there aren't that many properties with master suites with en-suites, etc. Okay, let me remember which order we went in. Cool. Sorry. Another thing when you're tiling, and I think I'm nattering on here to nobody but myself, make sure that you've got the bits that you're using or you require for the job at hand. Like for example the spacers, the tiles, they're right in front of you, so you're not wandering around the bathroom in search. Come on, get in. Thank you. what I'm trying to do there is just make sure that, you know, the tiles are level with one another, and it's not quite working out as I would like. Thank you. And boy, once this stuff gets a hold, aha, we're getting there. Right, we are getting there. Okay, that's perfect. Right, next one in. Final tile.
For that row anyway.
Yeah. Okay, that's that done. Okay, so we got these on here. Whew. It really is hot today. I keep saying it, but it's truly amazing how hot it is, and not in a good way.